My name is Vivian Hart, and I am 37 years old. I live in Cedarville, a quiet town nestled between rolling hills and sparkling lakes. For almost 5 years, I dedicated myself as a manufacturing engineer at a local fishing company. I loved my job. I was passionate about new packaging line implementations, which excited me more than anything else. I was ambitious, eager to rise through the ranks, and I believed that showing my dedication would pay off in the end. I had taken on the extra responsibilities of a process engineer after the previous one left, which meant I was often working 16-hour shifts and being on call 24/7. I enjoyed the challenge, but my efforts went unappreciated by a particular individual, my manager, whom I soon began to think of as douchehead manager. No matter how hard I worked or how innovative my ideas were, he would publicly criticize me and then take my suggestions to turn them into his own projects. My colleagues noticed and felt sorry for me, but that did little to reduce his relentless pressure. There was always an unspoken tension hovering in the air as I navigated my day-to-day tasks, fueled by 2 or 3 energy drinks just to keep going. Then, just when I thought my world couldn't feel more secure, everything changed one fateful day at the beginning of the month. I arrived at work, ready to tackle a line teardown that needed to be completed. As I was busy, I started to hear whispers about people being called into the Human Resources office. Confusion washed over me as I approached my work best friends, only to find them equally perplexed. As I made my way back to my cubicle, I was stopped in my tracks by the sight of a woman from accounting who was crying while being escorted out with a box of her belongings. My heart sank when I heard her name called, and dread settled in my stomach like lead. Moments later, I heard it, my name, echoing painfully through the office. My mind raced as I thought, so much for dedication. Walking into that HR office, I was met with the dreaded position elimination speech. They informed me that I was losing not just my job, but my health insurance and what felt like my identity, with only 4 months of pay as compensation for nearly 5 years of hard work. I was utterly crushed. Never in my career had I received a bad review or even been put on a performance improvement plan. But Douchehead had decided to eliminate one person from our department, and I was it. I was forced to pack up my desk, tears streaming down my face as my best friend in the packaging department yelled out, "This is such nonsense." The manager wouldn't allow me to confront him. Instead, he simply sent his second-in-command to escort me out. And to top it all off, my birthday was the very next day. As the days passed, more colleagues were let go. It appeared that one person from each department would be losing their job, including a couple of my work besties. I discovered that the conglomerate owning our company had decided to sell, and we were merely the unfortunate casualties sacrificed to make the financials appear decent. I still could not understand why I had been singled out from the engineering department. There was an older employee nearing retirement who would have gladly left the company, and another colleague was on a performance improvement plan. Both would have been logical candidates for elimination, yet here I was, devastated and lost with no explanation. On my birthday, after having taken a day to grieve my loss while drowning my sorrows with friends, I decided it was time to find a new path. I hit the job sites determined to carve out a new future for myself. Within a month, I landed a new job that I absolutely loved, and with that, my spirit lifted. I had finally found my stride again, and I was excited about what lay ahead. However, as luck would have it, about 6 months later, something utterly unexpected happened. One morning, the plant director called me into his office. It was just a short walk from my cubicle, but every step felt like an eternity. As I walked in, I greeted him with a casual, "What is up?" and a cheerful smile. He returned my greeting, but with a serious tone. "You used to work at that fishing place, didn't you?" he asked, looking up from a stack of papers. I nodded and confirmed that I did. Curiosity sparked in his eyes. "Did you know or work with Douchehead Manager?" he inquired. I felt my smile widen as I reminisced. Yes, he was my manager. The director leaned back in his chair, and I could see he was sizing things up. "How was he to work with?" he pressed further. With a grin, I replied, "He was okay, but he was a really great bus driver, if you get what I mean." My cryptic words seemed to work in my favor as he grabbed hold of a paper on his desk and presented it to me. The name on that document made my blood run cold. Douchehead's resume from his job application. I was in shock. The director informed me with a knowing smile that Douchehead had been let go on the same day I was. My astonishment only grew when he lifted that paper, ripped it in half, and tossed it into the trash can. That is all I needed to know, he concluded. I left his office with my mouth agape and my heart racing. Douchehead had been out of a job since the day he cruelly eliminated me without cause. It was as if the universe had conspired to deliver poetic justice, and it was delightful. Unbeknownst to him, I had unknowingly orchestrated a form of petty revenge against the man who had wronged me. I may have lost my original position, but my life was now headed in a new, exciting direction. I had the last laugh, and all I could do was smile as I transformed my pain into triumph. Unexpectedly, I felt a sense of liberation wash over me, knowing Douchehead was now the one feeling lost and discarded.